Hello everybody, this is Maniac for Lego. We are here today with another comparison video. This comparison video is going to be of three models I keep seeming to find in Lego sets throughout the years. And that is the form of a Police Buggy / ATV. I'll pretty much call it a Police ATV for most of the video, except for the actual set names. So, going from left to right, I've ordered all of them from the most recent to the least recent of the three I've chosen. Now, it's not to say there are only three of them that have been made by Lego, but these are the three, some of the most recent ones as independent sets or polybags, and I figured these would be good ones to use for our comparison video today. So, going from left to right, we have set number 30228, Police ATV. This is a polybag, ages 5 to 12, 42 pieces, 1 minifigure, originally a promotional release, and is now available for $5 at Learning Express. The next set going across is set number 60006, Police ATV. Now, this one is released in 2013, this one being 2014. 51 pieces, 2 minifigures, and originally retailed for about $7, ages 5 to 12. Now, I just wanted to acknowledge that here is the other minifigure and the rest of the accessories in the set. But I wanted to take this out of the comparison video to make it more fair between all three of these. But I want to acknowledge that you do get an extra minifigure in this set. I just feel like having it in there is kind of unnecessary considering the topic we're working with, and that is analyzing each of these buggies, not wheelbarrows. The last one we have down the line is set number 30013. The Police Buggy, specifically called Buggy, not ATV. This is a 2010 polybag release. This is ages 5 to 12, 34 pieces, and was released for about $4. $4. I've seen this in Target. Not too many stores have them, especially not nowadays. So, let's get right on to these sets. We're going to see first the minifigures. Well, actually, we'll look through each of the sets on their own, and then I'll compare them. It'll be easier to look. So we're going to go from left to right. First one we have is the most recent one. So you're probably most familiar with these types of policemen. And you can see his very nice torso printing on there. He's got glasses on. He's not particularly mad, he's just kind of neutral. He has a special top of his head where you can fit headphones or other accessories with pins on there. Kind of a nice bluish tone to it, a little bit different blue. Almost the same, but feels a little bit newer than some of the other blues that we get. And he also has some back printing. Now, as far as his Police ATV, there's a little piece stuck in there. Oh well. As far as his ATV, you can see right there, it was built on a 2x6 plate, and, good size to it. It's got 2 lights in the front with a small kind of bumper piece. We got enough room in here to fit him just driving. And we have some details on the back that show a little brake light. But it's kind of shrouded behind these 2 accessories, which are a handcuff and a walkie-talkie. We also got some lights on top of here and a small fence piece used in the back. Next one we have is from 2013, as I'll remind you again. This police minifigure is also common in some of the other sets from that year. His exact design has been used for many different police officers, but the faces have always changed. This one does not include a pin on top of his head, so you can see by the type of hat that he wears. He has a little bit better printing on the torso and on the legs. A little bit different than what we've seen in most police years. He's also got some nice printing on the back, kind of like a bulletproof suit on him. So I like how they took this idea. Maybe it was taken from Commissioner Gordon from Batman, but they kind of incorporate some of that idea into their city police line for this 2013 year. Now, the reason why he has handcuffs on, I don't know, because they're actually extras in the set. I probably should have removed them. Sorry about that. Because we already have a pair of handcuffs on the back, with another pair of walkie-talkie. We also have some lights and a fence piece on the back of here, but this fence piece is different in its curve. You can see by the shape, and you can also see that these are also attachable lights. They work more as sirens. Maybe these are brake lights, but I thought that might have been more of like a red and blue combination of sirens, and you know, they're traditionally seen on police vehicles. We also have a fence piece, well, not fence piece, a bumper-like piece on the front with only one light shown here. You can see some of the basic construction in there. 2x6 on the bottom, and it does fit the one minifigure. You can see it has a difference of color, color scheme between this one and the last one. We also have a little bit of difference in how the back is formed. We'll get to more about that later. And next, rolling up, that was kind of cool. I should have done that earlier. We have the Police Buggy. This minifigure is a much older design because it's from 2010. And you could recognize this from some of the older city police sets. He's got kind of a generic face on there. Kind of a nice one to have for this figure. His hat is also different from the other ones. It doesn't have a pin on top. And it's not the same hat as we get in this set. If you look between them, it's a little different, I think. No, it might actually be the same. It's just the coloring, I guess, made me think it was different. This one has mainly torso printing on the front, no torso printing on the back. And this one has, as you can see, more of a black color instead of a blue color for his outfit. Now for his buggy, it's a lot more different from what we've seen in the other ATVs. It's still done on a 2x6 frame, but this is much longer on that frame. As you can see right here, as I take off the wheels, it's put in between these pieces instead of over here, like some of the other ATVs. So it actually makes this one a little bit longer of a vehicle than some of the other ones. We have an easy amount of room to fit him in here, but there's no actual space in between to lock him in place. You can see his steering wheel like the rest of them. He also has a big difference as far as, some of his design on here for the sirens. Kind of similar to some of the other ones, but difference of color and a little bit of shape. We also have these fender pieces put on the back, which is kind of like the 2014 design. We only have room for one accessory on the back of here, which is the walkie-talkie. Also, when we removed this before, you can see there's a small piece in there for the exhaust pipes, which is kind of a cool detail, but much obscured in here. You can mainly see it from the back. And for this one, you can see how the front is made. It's much different than the other ones. They don't have the lights. They don't have... this one doesn't... I mean, it does have lights, but it's in a different fashion. And this one doesn't have the bumper piece like the other ones. It also doesn't have the same front fender piece as the other ones do. So, between all these, let's try to size them up. Roughly, they have the same space between their wheels, with the police buggy being the longer range. Because, like I said before, it's moved back a little bit on his, and his is actually the longer of the three vehicles. Let me just take this and move it up so you can see it over the camera. There we go. So you can see when they're all lined up right next to each other, this is actually the longer of the vehicles. However, it is the one with the least amount of pieces involved with it. This is only a 34-piece buggy, and you can see that it has less pieces because it has less frame around it. This one has a lot of open area on the sides, so kind of like a buggy, I guess that could work. But in comparison with some of these ATVs, they have a lot more framing around them. These have a similar piece used on the front for the framing. Very similar in a lot of ways, in fact. But they also have differences on the sides. For this one, they have that piece that's used with the older one. Whereas this one just kind of like uses a large curve piece around it. Which is still, makes it more unique design. You can also see between these, like I said, the lights are different. We have one that has two lights in it. We have one light, and then we have two separate lights. So there's a difference between those. Also on the back, you can see the fence pieces are used differently. These two particularly have the same ones, but they have different ways of putting sirens on top. These are a little bit softer, these are a little bit larger, and these are also softer, but they also have more lights on the back. I guess you could say the Police Buggy is the only one that doesn't have particularly brake lights, if you consider it from the back of it. It's also the only one that has one accessory to that vehicle. And the accessories between all of them are still walkie-talkies, which is important for police officers, whether or not you can catch a criminal. So I guess that's nice to have, but... And I also like how this piece is used in the back of here, because I haven't seen that in a while, as far as newer sets, so props to that. But hey, maybe we can use our extra pair of handcuffs and just put it in here. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. Not while he's driving. And as far as the frame, like I've mentioned before, these two are mainly similar, but they still have differences. These two are a little bit similar, but mostly different. So, there you have all three of these. And also, I forgot to mention, the designs between them, they all have badges. They all have walkie-talkies printed on their torsos. They all have a casual hat. These two have the same exact hat, this one a little bit different. They all have different colors and different designs as far as their outfits themselves. And for the faces, they are different in a lot of different ways. This one being glass, this one has glasses, this one has a beard, and this one just doesn't have either of those. So, it was very interesting to collect all of these, and I didn't really do this in the intention of making a comparison video, but noticing the trend between them, I actually thought it would be nice to do this comparison, and I actually liked this kind of setup. I mean, the Police Buggy and ATV type is a vehicle that's nice to see once in a while from LEGO City. I wouldn't recommend seeing it year after year, though, because this one was last year, and this one was from this year. That's the kind of problem that I had with this vehicle. I thought it was too similar to this one. Although I do see a lot of changes between them, I still think that maybe they need to change up the design a little bit further, so it's not almost the exact copy with just a different color of pieces. So, and I would have also liked to see these more spread out so that, you know, it's like the fire car. You know, that's the kind of model that you always see with the fire theme in LEGO City, and you see tons of different variations for them, but you get to see them well spread out from each other. For the Police Buggies, they're almost spread out. I mean, 2010 to 2013, that's a big jump from years. Whether or not I'm missing some in the middle, let me know in the comments. But these are the ones that I remember best, or at least that I can find best in my collection. Have there been ones before 2010? Obviously. But I don't have them available, or I don't know which exact ones there are. So let me know if I am missing any, or if you've seen a bigger trend, or a little bit more differences between these in general. So overall, I think they look pretty good. Very cool to get as a small vehicle for the police. And just very formidable for all different kinds of city activities, whether it's patrolling, or you need somebody to quickly run after a criminal. With a stack of jewels. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time with more comparison videos.